Hey everybody, welcome to the official Do Good Better podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Kirby, and with me, of course,
is Abby Furchner.
How are you today?
I'm so good. How are you today?
I'm awesome. It's freezing. I've decided if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm wearing a beanie.
It's not
cold.
that cold.
It's cold. It was 80 degrees yesterday. It's like literally 40 degrees.
I love it. I'm a fall gal.
I'm very much a fall person. I like the shorts and long sleeve shirt or sweatshirts look.
Yeah, that's what this weather is.
That's my jam. So, welcome to the podcast. I thought today we turned 3 years old this week.
Oh.
3 years in the hopper. I think that is very awesome. We're actually having a party tomorrow when you guys listen to this. A pizza party. Because we are apparently teenagers or college kids that we decided that that's what we wanted to do. So we're going to have a pizza party tomorrow. And then we're probably going to not work after that.
Probably.
And go directly across the street and cheers for 3 years with some beers. That rhymed, and I feel great about it.
Dr. Seuss is in the house.
But I feel, yeah. So that's what we're doing this week. We're actually celebrating 3 years. We thought
How does it feel to know you've been owning a business for 3 years?
It doesn't feel like 3 years. It feels like 50 years. No. It's gone by way quicker than I thought. Like way quicker. I was asked the other day hey, how was your business plan when you first started? And are you still going with that business plan? And I go, that business plan went out the window, I think day one. Originally, I thought I was going to be very much behind a desk and people would come to me like the Godfather and ask me for advice. And I thought that was legitimately how this was going to work. We're like, come ask me all of these questions.
Right.
And that didn't even remotely happen. I think because I miss being in the dirt and I love getting into the weeds to figure out solutions rather than just just pontificating about what you need to do. And that I think is the biggest change from day one to day two and then beyond was me loving the process. Right. I don't like details. We know that.
We know that.
We know that in the office.
Because guess who gets to do all the detail work?
That's why we hired you, because you're great. But the process of digging out from mental, I can't do this, to, oh, hell yeah, I can do this, was really the most fun part about the whole thing.
Because reflecting back on 3 years, I mean, you've had 2 big conferences, Do-Gooders Conference, you've wrote a book, you hired your first
full-time employee. Yeah.
It feels like that would almost be a 5-year mission, and you did it in 3. What is that kind of like to know that you, and just like, this isn't just to toot your own horn, but well, actually, toot your own freaking horn. You've done this in 3 years. How does it feel to know that you've accomplished all that in 3 years? It's
amazing. Mostly because, it wasn't me alone. I mean, I couldn't do this without, the countless clients that we've had over the years, or the partnerships that we've made, or the 1.5 million phone calls and text messages of like, good God, what the hell am I doing as a business owner kind of thing. So that's been really a joy, is that I've been able to bring so many people along with me, or associate myself with so many awesome people, because that's the only way I would be able to do this. This is not a one person show. If I soloed this and I just said, I'm going to do it my way, and this is what's going to happen, failed miserably 6 months in. But the real joy has been working with so many people, or such a diverse amount of people, and even the amount of topics. I mean, it goes from nonprofit work to small business to hiring and firing HR kind of piece there too. I mean, these are like the topics I talk about all the time with folks, and that breadth of connection. I've never said no to a meeting yet.
I feel like you've really expanded your niche. I think you came in almost thinking that you were just going to focus on fundraising nonprofits. And like you said, now we're getting clients that are small businesses. We're doing virtual events for universities. Like it's not just that nonprofit. You've been able to really expand.
Yes. But I think, which is awesome. But I think what the whole the niche part's not changed from mission centric, which is telling better stories, building better relationships, things. So the advice that I give to a lot of startup groups that come, you're like, hey, I'm going to start a business. I go, well, get really niche really quick, because once you're good at that, you can actually build out. It seems counterintuitive.
But that all stayed the same. But it was like not just nonprofits that I work with anymore. It's like,
but everything that we talked about, it has so many more places that it's applicable. Small businesses is the same thing as having nonprofit work. It's trying to spread your message and tell your story and make more friends or make more donors, right? Wealth management. If you're a wealth management officer, what do? You tell your story, you build relationships, you listen well, and then you find a place that makes them feel good about themselves. That's fundraising. If you're trying to market as a medium-sized business or a university, well, you're trying to connect the dots to make sure people are passionate about what you do. That's fundraising. Like it's all connected. And I think that's what the fun realization over the last couple of years has been, that is that we can go into these niches without seemingly being outside of our comfort zone. We're hell bent on being in our comfort zone, but we're using our perspectives from a nonprofit standpoint to kind of actually rock and roll this. It's been really fun.
Right. And I know that your book and you have many, but like your book and the Do-Gooders Conference are probably your two like big babies that you really brought to life. This is a really hard question. Ooh. What one was, not that you like better, but what one did you love creating more? Was it the Do-Gooders Conference or was it your book?
The book, because it's the basis for most everything we do. So from that, I think it's my favorite. It was the hardest thing to do and create and execute. The hardest thing to take a leap was I've always wanted to do a conference, and then taking that leap to do that, and just saying like, I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to spend a lot of money on doing this, and we have no idea if it's going to work or not. That was the bigger risk, and the reward was we now positioned ourselves to like do this forever. Right. And that's the best. But the book, because I think it was the culmination of everything that I've learned over the last decade and a half from fundraising and stories and experiences that everybody else has seemingly have, and how to build a simplicity framework that applies to a lot of things. I think that was the hardest thing to do and the most fun, because now it's just there. Now we get to use that in every little piece, which is really awesome.
No, 3 years.
3 freaking years. And it's funny because like I feel like right now we're just going to catch our stride. Like I feel like right now I've been bringing you on board and finally allowing somebody who knows what the hell they're doing to do all the creative and the social, the marketing and the media, but like I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. And so having somebody do that and then allowing me to have more freedom to go out and have conversations with people has opened up doors that I would have never imagined would have happened last year, let alone like 6 months ago. Right. So this has been really fun. And again, you've seen our whiteboard out there, the amount of ideas sitting there. And I think, God, we're going to hack through half a dozen of those by the end of the year already. And
it's so funny because you always preface the new ideas with, it doesn't have to get done right now. But like in the near future, because I think though, well enough that if you told me that this was your idea and if you didn't preface it with, it doesn't need to get done right now, I would probably do it right now.
I know.
Like I would drop everything I was doing and do it right now.
That's
sometimes like
great.
When you send me an email and it's past 5 o'clock, I'm like, can this wait or should I just do it right now?
Yeah. Well, that's the problem is that I think that's where the ideas come from too. It's like you're randomly walking down the street or you're at a grocery store and you're like, okay, I got
the shower ideas.
The shower ideas.
Shower ideas are always the best ideas.
Middle of the night, 2:30, 3 a.m. I woke up and I had those. That's so terrible. But I think that's the fun part is that now we've established our base. We've established sort of us being able to help a bunch of people, and now we get to who else, and it's in different states. It's sometimes different countries. I mean, we're going to be, it's going to be so much more fun partnering with so many more people to help so many more organizations. I think that's what the next 3 years is going to be real fun.
That's so crazy to think.
Ew.
That is so crazy to think. In 3 more years. I haven't even thought about tomorrow.
Or yesterday. That's how crazy it becomes. And I think that's another thing too, though, on how I think every day at the end of the day, I hear something to the effect of like, how in the hell is it 4?
Right.
Or how is it like 3?
It's already 4 o'clock.
Because we're consistently like churning out on ways to help and some new content and creation.
I might share a little something
Please.
For the 3-year.
Yeah.
3-year celebration podcast.
Ooh.
So we may or may not be building a new website that is going to launch soon.
That's a good tease.
We may or may not be. You never know.
Nobody needs to see this face.
Right. You never know.
See faces.
But I remember possibly building this may or may not happen website.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't realize how long and how lost you can get in creating that until you do it. Yeah. And I would say, there was one day where I came into work and probably spent the whole day because I blinked and I was like, it's 4:30 and I have not stopped staring. I like skipped lunch. But that's our everyday, honestly.
I got to loop you into a call. I got to loop you into another meeting. I got to loop you into a perspective. Like, hey, I got to bounce an idea off of you from a perspective. And it's so much fun because there's never any downtime. No. I'm amazed at that. I don't think I've had much downtime in 3 years.
Some days I think, do I eat lunch or do I take a quick nap?
Yeah.
The nap usually wins. A quick, like 45 minutes.
Like 45 minutes. It's crazy. I know. And I think it's just going to speed up. And that's what that's the more bananas part is it hasn't slowed down. No. What I thought would happen is, okay, I can take a breather having you start. I can take a timeout and you just freed up time to fill space in without doing everything else. And so now I'm as busy, if not busier, before you started. But it's been great because it's now the stuff that I never liked doing, but I had to do that you're really good at. And now I get to fill my time with like the things that I really, really love, which is kind of just reaching out and helping people. But I mean, we had 4 phone calls. It's not even noon. We had 4 phone calls with 3 of the people that we talked with are brand new potential clients or individual nonprofits that just wanted some help to reach out. 3 of the 4, and we haven't even hit noon yet. It's my lunch break and my nap time. So we need to stop. Thanks for hopping on here even before we did 3 years. And hey, if you're around, if you're listening to this live on release day, swing on by in West Fargo. Click on our Facebook page, or we'll link it down in the comments below. Stop on by, have a piece of pizza, and say hi. Physically distanced from each other.
It's outside.
It's outside too.
POW MIA Plaza off of Cheyenne Street in West Fargo. You can't miss it. There's going to be big balloons and our faces are going to be on a plasma screen.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Cheers to 3 years. This is pretty fun.
High five. Oh, air high five.
Even though we work like 6 feet from each other. Okay. All right. Awesome. We'll talk to you later on the official Do Good Better podcast.